Okay.
Thank you, Balaji. Welcome, Harshit Bhai, to Mulund Study Circle.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh, Members, as we know, GST is quite a simple tax, as we all know in our language itself. And anyhow, we are absorbing such simple tax. How and why we doesn't know anything. But still, to make it more dilute, we have with us Ashit Bhai to guide us on some of the line of set GST tax. Before starting things, a few announcements. Tomorrow we are having a physical meeting, first physical meeting on code of ethics and query relating to UDIN. And on 5th of Feb, we are having a budget meeting that is also physical. So the things will be, the information will be shared with you very soon. With this, I just request our committee member Himanshu Bhai to just take the introductions of today's speaker. Himanshu Bhai to you.
Thank you, Alpesh. It's my pleasure in introducing before you today's speaker, Ashit Kishore Kumar Shah. He is a passionate, down-to-earth and energetic person. His education qualifications are BCom, FCA and Disha from ICAI. He is practicing in the firm name Mehta and Shah, an office at Ghatkopar. His area of practice, indirect taxes, service tax and MVAT, and now GST. His professional development activities are: he is a founder partner of Mehta and Shah Chartered Accountancy firm, engaged in providing services in the area of taxation, advisory, and accounting in the area of direct tax as well as indirect taxes. He is having rich experience of 22 years in the practice of taxation and specializing in the area of indirect taxes from a last 1 decade. In last 1 decade, he has involved in knowledge sharing activities throughout the country by delivering lecture organized by renowned professional bodies, namely ICAI, CTC, the Chamber of Tax Consultants, GCS, GCTPM, All India Federation of Tax Practitioners Association, and Regional Training Institute of Controller and General of India, Mumbai. He is sharing knowledge by contributing column and article in monthly publication published by CTC and GSTPM. He is engaged in providing consulting and training to the corporate in compliance and restructuring of transactions. He is one of the contributor to referencer every year published by GSTPM. He is also one of the contributors to referencer published by WRC of ICI on service tax and GST. He was awarded Best Column Writer for the year 2016-17 in the monthly magazine published by GSTPM. He co-authored book on Guide to Annual Return and GST Audit published by WRC of ICI in the year 2019-20. He also co-authored book on Sabka Vikas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 2019 published by WRC of ICI in 2019-20. With this word, I am formally introducing Ashit Shah before you and request everyone online welcome him. Yeah.
Thank you, Manshu bhai.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manshu bhai. It's a brief introduction itself says about the speaker, and we hope we'll have a very dilute taxation knowledge today. With this, one more thing, members, you can raise your queries, whatever it is, so that at the end we can take it up with the speaker, and so our flow of the speaker could go quite smoothly. With this, I just request Ashit bhai to take the charge.
Yeah.
Ashit bhai, to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Alpesh bhai and Himanshu, for kind words in which you have introduced me. Though I am not that much of capable, but just probably this is the last virtual meeting, I believe, because now it seems that everyone is now recovered from this pandemic, which was there, which every one of us are facing from last 9 to 10 months. And now probably since the vaccine is there, so now the real meeting which we were accustomed to from last so many years will be there. So really a good thing, and probably tomorrow is the first physical meeting which you have announced it. So it's a good effort. Coming to the subject proper, let me share my screen. Yeah. Coming to the subject proper, today I have been asked to share my view on the latest scheme which has been introduced by the very simple tax reform, which is known as a goods and service tax law, which says that quarterly return monthly payment scheme. Now from last more than 2.5 years, every one of us are filing the return. When the law was introduced, this good and simple law, which Himanshu was referring, yes, it's a very good and simple tax law, because till now only more than 700 notifications are issued in this last 2.5 years. More than 300 circulars has been issued. I have lost counting that how many ARs are there issued by the various states and union territories. How many ARs has been pronounced by this authority of advance ruling? How many decisions has been pronounced in the high courts by which they have stuck down or commented that this is correct, this is wrong. So this is how this is a good and simple law. And whenever something comes up, just 2 days back, somebody was asking me, what do you expect in the budget? So I said, is there any need to anything introduced in the budget? Because whenever in the GST laws any notification comes, all the notification comes in a tranches. That means minimum at a time 5 to 7 notifications are coming. In that 5 to 7 notifications, there is an amendment to the rules, and in that rules 4 or 5 amendment in the rules minimum are described. Now in such a situation, it is a mini budget, which I call it. Now in a 2.5 years, 700 plus notification, that means in a year 300 notifications are there. So at least one notification per day, it's an average rate which is coming out. So that means every day in and out you have to be updated yourself. Otherwise, it's not, you won't be able to practice in that. So in that era of good and simple tax, when the law was introduced first in the year 2017, the government has prescribed that you have to file only one return, and which is known as GST-3 return. But over and above this return, you have to file your outward supply in the form which is known as a GSTR1 and inward supply in GSTR2. Very surprisingly and funnily, the form inward supply, details of inward supply, which was mentioned in first day of July 2017, has not seen the light of the day. Till today, GSTR2 is not functional and GSTR3 is also not functional. Instead of GSTR3, they have come out with an intermediate form which is known as GSTR3B, and from last more than 2.5 years, we are filing from GSTR1 and GSTR3B. So every month, people, the taxpayer needs to file the return. So in all, 2 returns per month. That means overall 24 returns every taxpayer needs to file, and therefore this creates a lot of difficulty. Therefore, always a present representation is made before the council that please reduce the number of returns, and accordingly, sometimes after a 6 months period of time, a relaxation has been provided to a certain category of taxpayers whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore, that they are having an option to file their GSTR1 return, that is the details of outward supply, on a quarterly basis. But the payment of tax has to be made on a monthly basis by filing GSTR3B. Now, all of you are now very much in a smooth process to file GSTR3B, I'm sure. So that was creating a lot of difficulty, especially to a small SME sector and a small or medium-sized business, because they don't have the enough capacity to employ the whole-time accountant who can handle the issue. I'm sure many of you must be facing that their client have that part-time accountant and what kind of information they are getting, and they have to file the return. All the problems have been started after the filing of the now GST annual return and GST audit. And now the notices for GST audit from the departmental perspective has been started. And now the real music will start playing, that how the return which has been filed earlier has been correctly filed, wrongly filed, or mistakenly filed. Now, therefore, there is always a need that there has to be a reduction in the number of returns. Therefore, in the 42nd GST Council meeting, recommendation has been made that some new scheme has to be introduced in filing the return, and accordingly, the scheme which is known as quarterly return monthly payment scheme has been introduced from the first day of January 2021. So now let's see what is this scheme is all about. Under this scheme is only for the small taxpayers or businesses to file their periodical returns, that is return in the form GSTR1 and 3B on a quarterly basis. Now, when I say quarterly basis, that means yes, outward taxable supply has to be filed on a quarterly basis. And also the GSTR3B also needs to be filed on a quarterly basis. Really very good thing. All of us were by reading that were saying, "Oh, lovely! Now we have to really file the 3 returns." But then they have to say that you have to make the discharge, make the payment of GST on a monthly basis in simple GSTR form PMT06. Now, if we compare the form PMT06 and 3B, then PMT06 is a very simple form wherein you have to just put the details for which period for which tax you have to just fill in the amount which you have to deposit, because since the challan is generated from that portal login ID of the portal, so they have to only mention the amount, and that amount will be credited to the cash ledger. That's it. They need not have to offset their liability and submit the return. जैसे हम GST 3D में करते हैं. So it's a very simple form. They are saying, so scheme में से बोल रहे हैं that you have to file quarterly return GSTR1, that is outward tax liability, and GSTR3B, and you have to discharge your tax liability on a monthly basis in a form, simple form, which is known as a PMT06. Very good. Let's see how this scheme is. Now the eligibilities. Which taxpayers are eligible under the scheme? So notification number 84 has been issued, which says that the following kinds of persons are eligible under the scheme. Number one, the person should be a registered person. Obviously, if the person is not registered, then how can he will opt under the scheme? Now, since I am saying that this is a scheme, so there is always an option available. That means those taxpayers who wanted to avail the scheme, they can avail the scheme. Those who do not want, they can be under the normal scheme. Number two, he or she is required to furnish the return pursuant to section 39, that is form number GSTR 3B. That means he is required to file the return GSTR 3B on a periodical manner, that is on a monthly basis. That means all other kind of taxable person who has to file the return in other forms, they are not eligible to cover under the scheme. Number three, aggregate turnover up to rupees 5 crore rupees is in the preceding financial year. That means my turnover, aggregate turnover should not be more than 5 crore rupees in the immediately preceding financial year. That means we are in the financial year 2021. That means we have to check the turnover of 1920. If the aggregate turnover, that means we have to refer to the section 26 of the GST Act, which defines that what do you mean by the aggregate turnover, and if that exceeds 5 crore rupees, then you are not eligible, but otherwise you are eligible. And last, fourth condition, very important condition, that registered person must have furnished their last return as due on the day of exercising the option. That means जब भी आपको exercise करना है option, then the last return which you are supposed to file, that you should have filed, then and then only you can opt for the scheme. Now we have seen which are the persons which are eligible under the scheme. Now let us see which are the persons who are not eligible under the scheme. So first and foremost would be the person who are not registered. That means unregistered person. Naturally, unregistered person cannot able to take the benefit of the scheme. Number two, person opted to discharge tax liability under section 10. Now what section 10 says, that these are the persons who are opting to discharge the tax liability under composition taxpayer. Those persons are not eligible to pay the tax under this scheme. Number three, registered person whose aggregate turnover is more than 5 crore rupees in the preceding financial year. That means in 1920, if their turnover is more than 5 crore, they are not able to opt for the scheme. Or if the aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crore in the any of the quarter in the current financial year. That means if you are in the my previous financial year turnover is less than 5 crore rupees, but in the current financial year, that means current financial year 2021, if my turnover is more than 5 crore rupees, then also I am not eligible to opt under the scheme. Last one, non-resident taxable person, input service distributor, or a person who is required to register to deduct the tax under GST law or collect the tax under the GST law, then in that respect, all these four kinds of persons are not eligible to avail the benefit of the scheme. So these are the persons who are eligible and ineligible under the scheme. Next, जाते हैं default migration. Now, what the department has done? Department has, that means the GST and department, they have tried to calculate the GST and turnover of each taxpayer on the basis of the return which has been filed for the financial year 1920. They have identified the taxpayers whose turnover is up to 5 crore rupees, and they will see that they have filed their return GSTR 3B for the month of October 20 by 30th November 2020. Then they will automatically be migrated to the new scheme, that is QRMP scheme. That means many of you must have received the message from the GSTN portal that your turnover is less than 5 crore rupees or up to 5 crore rupees. Therefore, your default period of filing of return has been shifted or migrated to the quarterly manner. Now, the manner in which the message has been drafted, it appears that you have defaulted in the filing of the return, and therefore many phone calls were from the clients where comes that have we not filed the return? Have we defaulted in making filing of the return? Then this matter has been again referred to the portal GSTN department that, sir, please draft the message correctly so that this kind of problem doesn't happen. And accordingly, then they have very 2 or 3 days after, they have corrected their message and said that yes, this is the default migration thing, and that doesn't mean you have made the default in filing of the return. So this kind of situation also arises when you are really executing the law. So वो कहते हैं कि बड़ी बड़ी जब भी हम बातें करते हैं तभी ऐसी छोटी छोटी हरकतें या गलतियां होने लगती है. Now that means the taxpayers whose turnover is up to 5 crore rupees in the financial year 19 compulsorily migrated to the this scheme, then they have an option either to remain in the scheme and no, then and if they have decided that yes, I wanted to be in the scheme, then they will not, they need not have to take any action. उनको कुछ करना नहीं है और उनको quarterly return file करना है. But if he wishes that no, I don't want it to be in the scheme, then he can opt out of the scheme or exit out of the scheme. And this scheme option of selecting going out of the scheme has to be taken, or opt-in has to be taken from 5th December 2020 to 31st January 2021. So today we are on the 30th January 2021. Therefore, Alpesh Bhai, when he has contacted me that sir, let us take this lecture. So I said, अरे 31st को तो scheme में इसके option खत्म हो जाता है. So he said, नहीं, that's why we wanted to keep a lecture so that members can be understand the scheme and then can take the benefit of the thing that by 31st January they can take the option of their client, and accordingly this lecture has to be kept on 30th January Saturday. I said, okay, not an issue. Now many times what is happening, that turnover which has been determined by the GSTN portal may be correct or may not be correct. If it is not correct, then a facility has been provided into the portal wherein they can either do the correction or put the grievance in case of any discrepancy in auto-populated amount of turnover provided by the GSTN. That means suppose if my turnover is which has been displayed by the GSTN portal is less than 5 crore rupees, and therefore on the basis of that I am compulsorily migrated to the new scheme, whereas in reality the turnover is more than 5 crore rupees. Then in that respect, you can do the correction of your turnover and give the correct picture. Now, if you wanted to opt in the scheme, then what you have to do? You have to log in, go to the tab services, when further tab of returns, and wherein you will be able to find opt-in for the quarterly return. So this is how the default migration will be there. Now, which are the taxpayers who would be migrated? Let us see what the GSTN portal provides. It says the registered persons whose aggregate turnover is up to 1.5 crore rupees and who were furnishing their GSTR 1 return on quarterly basis in the current financial year, that is 2021, then compulsorily they are into the quarterly return only. Then registered persons whose aggregate turnover is up to rupees 1.5 crore rupees, but who is furnishing the return GSTR 1 on monthly basis in the current financial year, then they have not been converted into the quarterly scheme, but they are remaining into the monthly scheme only. Third kind of person, registered person who is having aggregate turnover of more than 1.5 crore rupees and up to 5 crore rupees in the preceding financial year, then those taxpayers are compulsorily migrated to the QRNP scheme. So then they have to decide whether they have to be in the scheme or opt out of the scheme. That decision has to be taken by 31st of January so that they can file the return for the last quarter, that is 1st January 2021 to 31st March 2021, either on a quarterly basis or on a monthly basis. Now the next question is how to opt in for the scheme. अभी हमने देख लिया who are the eligible person, who are not eligible, and default migrating person. Now let us see who are the person who can be able to opt in the scheme. So as I have told you earlier, that the eligible person would be the person whose annual aggregate turnover is up to 5 crore in the previous financial year. They can opt in for the scheme from 1st day of January 2021. In respect of those taxpayers whose turnover is more than 5 crore, up to 5 crore rupees, but during the current financial year, from if their turnover is up to 5 crore rupees, then they have an option to convert it. Now, when to take the option? They have to take the option from the first day of the second month of the preceding quarter to the last day of the first month of the quarter. Now, see the language in which they are saying. It's very confusing. So I have put it in a tabular manner and try to understand what they are trying to say. Now, at present, we are in the fourth quarter, quarter ended March. That means January 21 to March 21. There they are saying that when to, if I wanted to opt in the scheme, when can I opt? So it says from the first day of the second month. Now, for the month of January, which is the first day of the second month, first day of November, so first day of November of the preceding quarter, to the last date of the month of the quarter. Which is the last day of the month of the first month of the quarter? It is the month of January. So by 31st January, from 1st November 2020 to 31st January 21, I have to select an option that whether the taxpayer would file the return on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. Similarly, those taxpayers who say, okay, no, for this one quarter, I don't want it into in the scheme, but I will go from the next financial year. Suppose they have decided that from 1st day of April 2021, I will wanted to migrate in the scheme since I am fulfilling all the conditions. Then in that respect, they have to opt the scheme from the between the 1st day of February to 30th day of April, and if they have to decide that yes, I wanted to opt in the scheme, they have to go to the portal and activate that tab which has been provided, and then for the first quarter June 21, they can file their return on a quarterly basis. Now, another important thing, the question will come up whether this registered person has to exercise this option on every quarter. It is clarified. Okay, no, they need not.
Ashit bhai, can you share your screen, sir?
Pardon?
Can you share your PPT screen also?
My screen is not shared.
No, sir.
Oh no,
Okay.
it's shared.
Okay.
अरे तो इतने टाइम से बोला नहीं यार. Now can you able to see?
No, sir, not yet.
Just.
Yes, sir. Perfect now.
Huh? Oh, so
Yes, sir.
sorry.
It's okay. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So the registered person is not required to exercise the option every quarter. So whenever they feel yes, I wanted to opt out of the scheme, only on that quarter he has to select that yes, I wanted to go out of the scheme. Otherwise, it is presumed that I am in the scheme, and he has to continue to file the quarterly return. This facility to avail the scheme on Commerce portal would be available throughout the year. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई particular quarter में. Or it is not necessary that once you have selected in a one quarter, you have selected I wanted to be in a scheme, then it doesn't mean that for all the remaining 4 quarters you have to be mandatory in the scheme. No, it is very flexible. It says that you can anytime opt in and anytime opt out. So साल में 4 time में आप you can opt for 2 quarters in one scheme, 2 quarters in the normal scheme. You can do that. Then person who obtained the new registration, कैसे वो opt in करेंगे? So one of the very important condition is that he has to file the return for the whole period. So whenever a person, say for example today on 30th January, he has obtained the registration, can he take the benefit of this scheme? The obvious reply is no. So when he can opt for the scheme? So पहले तो उसे monthly return GSTR 3B में file करना है. So when he has to file the first return for the month of January, the due date is February. So 20th February ko he has to file his first GSTR 3B return. Then he has to think whether I can opt in the scheme or not. So let us go again to that table whether इसको possible है कि नहीं. So now he is into the quarter ended March. So quarter ended March में scheme opt करने का time था 1st November to 31st January. That time has lapsed, so he cannot take the option in the month for the month of February 2021 to be under a quarter this QRMT scheme. तो उसको February month का और March month का return monthly ही file करना है. Then after filing that, in the 1st February 2021 to 30th April 2021, he can then decide whether he wanted to be in the scheme of QRMP or not, and not otherwise. So the very important thing when to opt in. Similarly, just the person who has opted out of the composition scheme under section 10, कंपोजिशन स्कीम में भी है, वहां भी क्वार्टरली रिटर्न फाइल करना है, बट पेमेंट करना है उनको मंथली. देन इन दैट रिस्पेक्ट he has decided, yes, I wanted to change the scheme, then the same rule will be applicable. He has to select, first of all, file the return for the GSTR 3B for 1 month, and then only he can opt in the QRMP scheme. Then next one, how to opt out of the scheme. अभी हमने देख लिया कि when to opt in. Now let us see when to opt out of the scheme. So the taxpayer whose aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees during any quarter in the current financial year, then such person shall not be eligible for the scheme from the next quarter. That means moment 5 crore के ऊपर आ गया turnover, then you cannot able to take the benefit of the QRMP scheme. So current financial year में आपका turnover 5 crore rupees हो गया, you are out of, you have to mandatorily be out of the scheme. Then such taxpayer have to file their periodic return, that is 1 and 3B, under the monthly periodicity. Then facility for opting out of the scheme for the quarter will be available from the first day of the second month of the preceding quarter to the last day of the first month of the quarter. Now again मैंने आपको बताया how you can go out of the scheme. You have to follow that table. आपको कभी पहले बाहर जाना है. Same table which we have seen earlier. You have to decide between the date when you wanted to go out. But very important condition is that first of all you have to file your last return before exercising the option of opt out has been furnished. That is a important condition which has been provided under the proviso to the sub rule 2, that while opting out of the scheme anytime during the year from the scheme, the last return which has been due has to be filed, and then only you can opt out of the scheme. तो ये हमने स्कीम के बारे में, ये स्नैपशॉट है छोटा सा. एलिजिबिलिटी क्या है? टैक्स पेयर हैविंग एन एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर ऑफ अप टू 5 crore rupees in the preceding financial year. सेकंड क्या है? एक्सरसाइजिंग द ऑप्शन, टैक्स पेयर्स कैन ऑप्ट इन एनी क्वार्टर, first day of the second month or preceding quarter to the last day of the first month of the quarter. The table हमने जो देखा. Third criteria, taxpayer must have furnished the last return as due on the date of exercising such option. Then options 1 exercise, taxpayers are not required to exercise the option every quarter. He shall have to furnish the return unless they have revised the said option. Then period would be for the first quarter, वो periodicity भी हमने देख ली, and migration. So this is the small snapshot of this quarterly return monthly payment scheme. So after understanding the basics of the scheme, now let us go further. The one of the important question which will come up for the thesis is that suppose if a taxpayer is having their location on a pan-India basis, then in that respect, how to deal with it. So whether this turnover limit of under the scheme is GSTN wise or on the PAN wise. One of the very important condition which has to be kept in mind is that turnover of the aggregate turnover should be first of all up to 5 crore rupees or less than 5 crore rupees. If that first condition is complied, then and then only you are entering into the scheme. Then once you are entering into the scheme, then it is a GSTN wise. That means each GSTN holder of that taxpayer under that PAN have an option either to select some of their branches or their unit under the scheme, under that QRMP scheme, and some of the units they may opt that these units can be out of the QRM scheme, that means a normal scheme. So that facility is possible, which they have clarified while by issuing the circular, that this QRMP scheme is on a GSTN basis wise and not on the PAN basis wise. Then furnishing the detail of outward supply. Now आपको पता है कि in this quarterly return, what one has to do is they have to file the details of outward supply on a quarterly basis. So GSTR1 हमें quarterly basis पे भरना है. Let us see what they have to do. So the taxpayers who were opt-in under the scheme have to file their details of outward supply in form GSTR1 on a quarterly basis. That is, means they have to file their return by the 13th of the next month of the quarter after the end of the quarter. That means suppose for the fourth quarter, that is quarter ended March 2021, if the person has selected that yes, I wanted to file my return under the QRMT scheme, then details of details of outward supply in GSTR1 has to be filed by 13th of the April 2021. 13th अप्रैल के पहले ये 1 फाइल करना है। तो मैंने 13th अप्रैल के में रिटर्न तो फाइल कर दिया GSTR1 रिटर्न, जिसमें मैंने डिटेल्स ऑफ आउटवर्ड सप्लाई लिख दी। Now, if that means for the month of January 2021 and February 2021, I have not uploaded my details of outward supply. Then what will happen? Naturally, the person who has procured the goods from me, they will not be eligible to take the credit, क्योंकि आजकल तो क्या हो गया है, GSTR 2B में नहीं दिखा या 2A और TB में, then that person is not eligible to take the credit of the same. तो बड़ा problem हो जाएगा. That means that person will now insist me that you can't go to the scheme because आप तो quarterly return file करोगे तो मुझे credit कभी मिलेगी, 2 महीने के बाद में on the third month मिलेगी, then it will not be a good plan for me, so I will not buy the product from you. So to overcome this situation, even the government knows that, so they have come out with one more facility which is known as an invoice furnishing facility. So now let us first understand what is this invoice furnishing facility. Under the invoice furnishing facility, the taxpayers are expected to file the details of their outward supply in this IFF, which is known as an invoice furnishing facility. That means for the month of January 2021, all the details of outward supply have to be furnished in this IAF. For the month of February also, they have to submit this detail in IFF and upload into the portals. What it says, that details of outward supply for the first 2 months of a quarter can be filled in IFF by a taxpayer. This IFF has to be uploaded on the first day of the succeeding month to the 13th day of the succeeding month. That means January 2021 का जो आपका details of outward supply है, वो आप फाइल कर सकते हैं from first day of February to 13th day of February. वहां तक आप आपका invoices upload किया कीजिए under the IFF scheme, तो आपके पोर्टल पे चले जाएगा, not an issue. Now they are saying further कि 13th February के बाद ये IFF का पोर्टल बंद हो जाएगा. That means now you cannot upload the invoice. So you have to be kept it in mind that all the invoices for the month of January or for the month M1 has to be properly recorded while filing the IFF. But आपको पता है कि human beings है तो mistake तो होने के chances है. Then in that respect, what is to be done? Then the law says not to be worried. If any invoices which has been left out, कोई लिखने में रह गया, then not to be worried. Then in that case you can file these details of outward supply either on the subsequent month's IFF. That means मैं जब भी February month का IFF फाइल करूंगा तभी वो इनवॉइस डाल सकता हूं, या जब भी मैं GSTR1 करूं क्वार्टरली तभी डाल सकता हूं, so that the credit will be available to the my purchaser of the goods. Then further they are saying that in this IFF only the details of the transaction entered with the B2B transaction of has to be entered. That means B2B transaction of intrastate and interstate sales has to be only entered. And similarly debit note and credit note only have to be furnished in IFF. That means a transaction with B2C need not be to be entered in IFF. Naturally क्योंकि IFF में वो जरूरी नहीं है, ये फैसिलिटी इसलिए प्रोवाइड की गई है because so that the purchaser of the goods will be able to get the credit on the basis of the invoices which has been issued by the selling dealer. तो ही purchasing dealer को ये credit मिलेगी. So for that matter B2C के साथ अगर transaction किया है तो उनको कोई credit की जरूरत नहीं है, and accordingly such kind of transactions are not expected to be reported in this invoice furnishing facility. If there is any amendment to be carried out in the invoice which has been furnished in that IFF facility, then yes, the government's portal says yes, you can also amend the invoices which has been furnished in this IFF, or you can also add the debit note and credit note which has been issued to registered person through table number 9A and 9C of the IFF. So ये भी facility दी गई कि कोई अगर गलती से हमें मिस्टेक हो गई, then you can rectify it. Further, it's the scheme provides that If any details which has been already furnished in IFF, then such details need not to be furnished by filing GSTR1 on a quarterly basis. That means now पता है आपको कि ये जो IFF है facility, that is only a temporary facilities for the 2 months, that is M1 month and M2. M3 में तो हमको फाइनल रिटर्न क्वार्टरली रिटर्न भरना है, तो उसमें ये फैसिलिटी IFF नहीं रहेगी क्योंकि हम वहाँ फाइनल GSTR1 भरने वाले हैं। तो कहते हैं कि जो भी डिटेल्स आपने M1 और M2 month में दे दी गई है, the same details you need not be required to be again furnished in GSTR1 while filing the quarterly return. So एक टाइम डिटेल मैंने दे दी तो बस हो गया, very simple. तो आपको GSTR1 में नहीं देना है. So this is the whole scheme in which this IFF facility has been provided. Now what kind of details to be declared in GSTR1? So it says invoice-wise details of all interstate and intrastate purchase. This is the same thing which at present also we are providing while filing the GSTR1 form. क्या हम डिटेल देते हैं? Interstate and intrastate supplies made to a registered person. Interstate supplies with the invoice value of more than 2.5 lakhs made to the unregistered person. Consolidated details of all the intrastate supplies made to unregistered person for each rate of tax, and state-wise interstate supply with invoice value up to rupees 2.5 lakhs made to unregistered person for each rate of tax, and last debit note and credit note. So ये सारी details हमें GSTR1 में देनी है, जो at present also we are giving same detail needs to be given. So this is all about the filing of the GSTR1 for details of outward supply. Now what else remains is what we have to file GSTR3B, that means the quarterly return in GSTR3B. Now ये जो 3B में क्या करना है, हमें tax payment करना है. At present also we are doing the same thing, right? So what we are doing in the 3B, same thing. क्या है, taxpayers who have obtained under the scheme would be required to furnish from GSTR3B for each quarter on or before the 22nd or 24th day of the month succeeding such quarter. That means मैंने बताया quarter ended March 21 का GSTR3B है, that has to be filed by 22nd or 24th of the month. Now some of you might be questioning me, why these two dates 22nd and 24th? Again there is a portal problem. पहले क्या होता था, बहुत सारे SSCs were filing the return on the last day. Now Infosys ने बताया कि ये जो हमारी आप जब रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं तो भी एक ही at a start time we cannot handle more than 1 lakh returns. So therefore now they have said that उन्होंने divide कर दिया सब state को, or that on the basis of your location of the office in the state, you have to file differently for on different dates are prescribed for filing the return. So some of the states falls under 22nd and some of the states fall under the 24th. So this is therefore the force which is there in the portal on the last date would be little bit less, and then you cannot get a message that you are on the way and please रुकावट के लिए हमें खेद है, ऐसा मैसेज ना देखना पड़े. In this GSTR3B, they shall declare the supplies made during the quarter. Of course, इसमें लिखना है supplies made during the quarter, ITC availed during the quarter, and all other details required to be furnished therein. आपको ये सारी details जो अभी भी सब mention कर रहे हो. Then the next thing comes about the payment. अभी जो हमने PMT6 में payment किया है, जो scheme में है, that will go to your cash ledger. तो cash ledger में वो आपके पैसे पड़े हुए हैं. So now while filing the return, the law says that first of all you have to utilize that money which is available in the cash ledger to be offset while discharging the tax liability. So GSTR3B जब भी भरते हैं तभी first 2 months की tax liability हमने जमा कर दी है और वो cash ledger में पड़ा हुआ है. Third month में जो tax liability आएगी, that along with the first 2 months have to be offset. The liability, and will have to file the GSTR3B within the prescribed due date, that is 22nd and 24th. So law further subscribe that ये जो पैसे cash ledger में पड़े हैं, that you cannot utilize it for any other purpose. You have to utilize it only for the purpose of discharging the tax liability of that quarter. Once that tax liability has been discharged, return has been filed, and if there is any surplus money which is available in the cash ledger, then that money you can use it for any other purpose, like for making payment of interest or late fees or penalty, or you can also ask for the refund of the amount. ये सारी चीज हो सकती है कभी जब भी आपने जीएसटीआर 3B वो क्वार्टर का आपने फाइल कर दिया है, अदरवाइज आपका नहीं हो सकता है। दैट मींस क्या होगा कि सपोज इन M1 मंथ आपने टैक्स पेमेंट कर दिया 25 तारीख तक, और फिर आपको कोई नोटिस आ गई कि आपको ये पैसा भरना है, देन यू कैन नॉट गो एंड आस्क कि मेरा तो कैश लेजर में पैसा पड़ा है, चलो मैं वहीं से यूटिलाइज करता हूं। नो, that money has to be mandatorily, compulsorily has to be utilized to discharge the tax liability of that quarter. Right? Now what will happen that there is a cancellation of registration. जब भी आपको जीएसटी भरना है उसके पहले ही, वो क्वार्टर खत्म होने के पहले ही, some taxpayer says that I wanted to cancel my registration during any of the first 2 months, then he is still required to furnish the return in form number GST 3B for the relevant tax period. That means he cannot say that बस मेरे तो अभी वो return नहीं भरूंगा. If that person, suppose quarter ended March 21 हमने example में लिया, and that person wanted to cancel the registration in the month of February, then he is mandatorily to file the return for the whole quarter, that is quarter ended March 2021 by 22nd or 24th day of April 2021. So after considering कि मुझे क्या आउटवर्ड सप्लाई में भरना, कभी भरना है, कभी जीएसटीआर 3B भरना है, now the next question which comes with the payment of tax, कैसे हमें payment of tax करना है। The law says that the taxpayer who has opted in under the scheme have to discharge the tax liability in each of the first 2 months of the quarter under any of the 2 methods. तो उन्होंने 2 ऑप्शन दिए हैं कैसे आप टैक्स पेमेंट करेंगे। फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज अंडर द फिक्स्ड सम मेथड और दूसरा है सेल्फ असेसमेंट मेथड। सो नाउ लेट अस से कि कैसे हमें टैक्स लायबिलिटी डिस्चार्ज करनी है। फर्स्ट इज द now before that we go to the each of this method. First of all let us try to understand ये टैक्स हमें कभी भरना है। So this tax liability has to be discharged by the 25th of the month succeeding such month. That means मुझे January 2021 if I opted in the scheme, तो मुझे कभी पेमेंट करना है by 25th of February 2021. February 2021 का पेमेंट मुझे करना है 25th March 2021. ये 2 मंथ का मुझे पेमेंट करना है under this fixed sum method और a self assessment method. थर्ड मंथ की जो पेमेंट है वो तो मुझे रेगुलरली जीएसटीआर 3B बनाना है, जिसमें सारा मुझे आउटवर्ड सप्लाई लेना है, इनवर्ड लेना है जिसमें मुझे क्रेडिट मिलती है, एंड देन व्हाटएवर इज द बैलेंस आई हैव टू डिस्चार्ज माय टैक्स लायबिलिटी। नाउ व्हाइल मेकिंग द जनरेटिंग द चलन, the taxpayer should select monthly payment for quarterly taxpayer as a reason for generating the challan. So जब भी PMT6 generate करते हैं for making the payment, at that point of time you have to say that monthly payment for quarterly taxpayer is a reason for generating the challan. अभी देखते हैं method, which are the 2 methods, and then we will decide that which method is useful while selecting this QRMT scheme. बराबर है, बहुत हमें समझना है। So fix sum method. Under this method, a facility has been available on the portal for generating a pre-filled challan. बहुत अच्छी facility दी है। Whenever you have selected the option under the QRMT scheme, आपको एक pre-filled challan generate होके आ जाएगा. That means after the completion of the January 2021, आपको एक pre-filled challan generate होके आ जाएगा, which is equivalent to the 35% of the tax paid in cash in the preceding quarter. That means आपका फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वो देखेंगे क्वार्टर एंडेड दिसंबर में आपने कितना कैश पेमेंट किया है। माइंड इट वेल, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द कैश पेमेंट। कितना आपका कैश लेजर में से गया है पैसा, उसका 35% ऑफ द पर्सन वुड बी कंसीडर्ड एज ए पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स फॉर द मंथ ऑफ जनवरी 2021. तो 35% of the tax paid in cash in the preceding quarter का एक pre-filled चलन जनरेट होगा। This is in respect of the taxpayer who are discharging their tax liability on a quarterly basis. ठीक है, उसका जो quarterly basis पे पे करता है उसको 35% भरना है। Then what about the taxpayers who are for discharging their फाइलिंग द रिटर्न ऑन अ मंथली बेसिस, तो बोलते हैं उनके लिए 100% ऑफ द tax paid in cash in the last month of the immediately preceding quarter. That means कि अगर मैं अभी जा रहा हूँ मंथ में हूँ जनवरी 21, तो मेरा दिसंबर 21 में जो भी मैंने कैश में टैक्स पे किया है दैट उसका मेरा प्रीफिल्ड चलन जनरेट हो जाएगा, बराबर। एंड देन दिस प्री जनरेटेड चलन हैव टू बी discharged by filing TMT6 to the government exchequer on or before 25th of the next month. That means January का 25th of February और February का 25th of March 2021 तक मुझे पेमेंट करना है। Now let us try to understand कि कैसे ये पेमेंट होगा। Now the law says that the overall tax payment should be 35%. Now हमें पता है कि जो total tax liability है that is comprising of mainly three taxes, CGST, SGST and UTGST and IGST, and says एक different आता है but which is very less, so therefore I have just given the example of CGST, SGST and IGST in the first column. Second column says tax paid in cash in quarter ended March 2021. तो मैंने मार्च 21 में कितना टैक्स पे किया था 1500 रुपीस। टैक्स रिक्वायर्ड टू बी पेड इन कैश इन अप्रैल एंड मई 2021। अभी ये मैं प्रिज्यूम कर रहा हूं कि दिस इज वुड बी फॉर द क्वार्टर एंडेड जून 2021। So since they are in the quarter, so 1000 का 35% would be 350 for CGST, 350 for SGST, and 500 का 35% would be 157 rupees. इतना प्रीफिल्ड चलन जनरेट हो जाएगा and that you have to discharge. But suppose if you are filing making the payment on a monthly basis, then what is to be then? Then tax paid in cash in the month of March 21 has to be seen into consideration. वहां भी मैंने 1000, 1000 और 500 भरा था. Then for the month of April and May 2021, I have to discharge 1000, 1000 and 500 because it says that you have to pay 100% of the tax amount. Now further, now we will go okay. Now suppose for 1 month I am under the first method, that is the fixed sum method, और दूसरी method है मेरी self assessment method. Can I adjust the method? Can I change the method? The law provides yes, in both the months you have an option to determine under which method you wanted to discharge your tax liability, but in the third month you have to mandatorily do the self assessment method. This fixed sum method would not be applicable to certain class of people. Number one, to whom? To the new taxpayer. New taxpayer को ये आएगा ही नहीं। क्यों नहीं आएगा? क्योंकि उन्होंने लास्ट पेमेंट नहीं किया है मंथ का, तो उनको ये अवेलेबल नहीं होगा। Taxpayers who have opted out of the composition scheme, उनको भी नहीं होगा क्योंकि उन्होंने फर्स्ट लास्ट रिटर्न भरा नहीं है। Then taxpayers who have not filed their last return in form number GSTR CB, that's why ये नहीं होगा। Then हाँ, दूसरा, monthly tax payment through this method would not be available to those registered persons who have not furnished the return for a complete tax period in the preceding such month. इसलिए उनको नहीं होगा। So what do you mean by the completed period, complete tax period? So complete tax period means a period during which taxpayer is registered from the first day till the last day of the tax period. So since they have not discharged the tax liability not discharged the tax liability for the whole period, that means the complete period, then if accordingly they are not eligible to discharge the tax liability under fixed sum method. After understanding this the fixed sum method, दूसरी method में जाते हैं self assessment method. ये self assessment method क्या है? Same thing which is what all of us are following at present. क्या करते हैं fixed self assessment? The said person, first of all, they have to consider their tax liability. After taking into consider their output tax liability, input tax credit available to him, and then discharge the tax liability under the form TMT06. That means he has to virtually calculate the output tax, input tax credit, and whatever is the balance that he has to discharge the tax liability. The facility of ascertainment of ITCB will be available for the month as an auto drafted input tax credit statement, which जो भी मिल रहा है वही आ जाएगा, and accordingly the taxpayer can discharge the tax liability in the self assessment method. ये मैंने ऑलरेडी बता दिया that said registered person is free to avail either of the two tax method above in any of the 2 months. So self assessment method is the simplest method which we all of us know. Then one more thing one has to keep it in mind. If the taxpayer is having a sufficient balance in their electronic credit ledger and electronic cash ledger, then in that respect they need not have to discharge the tax liability under the fixed sum method or under the self assessment method. अगर मेरे पास क्रेडिट पड़ी हुई है in my electronic credit ledger or cash ledger, then I need not have to worry. मुझे पैसा नहीं भरना है, हाँ वो 35% भी नहीं भरना है फिक्स या सेल्फ असेसमेंट मेथड में नहीं भरना. Second condition, if there is no turnover or my liability is nil because I am supplying the exempted supply, then in that respect even I may choose not to pay the tax liability. So this is our of the two exceptions which are there. Then tax deposited under any of the method cannot be used by the taxpayer for any other purpose till the filing of the return for the quarter. I already told you that this money cannot be used for any other purpose other than making the payment for that quarter. Now I have tried to formulate it कि ये कैसे पेमेंट होगा. हाँ बड़ा पेचीदा है ये now let us say for example for the month of April 2021 ये टाइप ऑफ टैक्स है CGST, SGST एंड IGST है. वहां टैक्स लायबिलिटी है 1000 और 5000 रुपीस. सो टोटल मेरा 7000 रुपीस इज द टैक्स लायबिलिटी. In my electronic credit ledger, I have 2000 rupees in CGST and in 7000 rupees IGST. So if we sum up first of all, so my total tax liability is 7000, my balance in ECL is 9000. So technically speaking, I should not discharge the tax liability because I am covering under this clause. तो मुझे भरना नहीं है. But if we see the individual tax wise item, then in CGST I have surplus balance, then I need not have to pay the tax. In SGST I don't have any money in electronic credit ledger or cash ledger, तो मुझे 1000 का 35% means 350 rupees और self assessment basis पे 1000 rupees अगर मैं discharge कर रहा हूँ तो 1000 rupees भरना पड़ेगा. Under IGST मेरा 5000 है और 7000 है. So naturally there is an excess balance, so no tax has to be payable. So there is no clarity as of now कि ये जो tax payment जो बता रहे हैं that has to be taken into consideration on a global basis 7000 and 9000 or it has to be taken on an individual basis and then to decide whether मेरे को क्या करना है. So in this first example we have seen अगर हम global basis पे देखते हैं 7000 and 9000 then no tax has to be payable. But if we see on a individual isolated head of the tax, then I need to pay the tax under SGST. So this is the one of the lacuna which needs to be clarified, and I am sure that at earliest this clarification is expected. Now let us move to the second month, May 21. वहां CGST, SGST और IGST में my liability is 2000 rupees, so total is 6000 rupees. But in my electronic cash ledger and credit ledger, my balances are 1500, 500 and 2000 rupees respectively. So now the question will, मेरा globally देखेंगे तो 6000 is my tax liability and balance in my electronic cash ledger and credit ledger is 4000 rupees. So I have to discharge 2000 basically 2000 rupees और उसका 35% means 2700 rupees discharge करना चाहिए. But if I go on a isolated wise, then how much I have to pay? 2000 minus 1500, 500 rupees. So 35% of 500 rupees would be 175 or 500 rupees I have to pay. If I go to SGST, then either I have to pay 525 rupees, 1500 rupees का 35% 525 और पूरा 1500 भरना है. And in the last IGST मुझे कुछ भी टैक्स नहीं भरना है मंथ में. So if we see overall, तो मेरा टैक्स लायबिलिटी यहाँ 700 रुपीस हो गया. लेकिन अगर मैं SLM में जाता हूँ तो 2000 हो गया. तो यहाँ भी मैं यही टैक्स भर रहा हूँ. तो यहाँ मुझे हर जगह पे सेम सिचुएशन आ रही है. So I think if we see in a holistic view, we have to take into account the headwise thing and then accordingly decide whether 35% to be paid headwise, or if there is any excess money, then one need not have to pay that. But still the clarification is expected from the department. Then the next thing would be the applicability of the interest. मुझे interest कभी लगेगा? So the law provides that no interest would be payable in a case if the tax due for the month M1 and M2 is paid by way of depositing auto-calculated fixed sum of amount generated by the system before the 25th day of the next month, then मुझे interest नहीं भरना है. That means कि suppose मेरा January 2021 की tax liability है, वो मेरे auto generated चलन के basis पे मैंने tax discharge कर दिया 25th तक, then in that case I need not have to pay the interest. First thing. Second, in case such payment of tax by depositing the system calculated amount in form PMT6 is not done by the due date, that means मैंने 25 तारीख तक payment नहीं किया on the basis of auto generated chalan, then in that case the person taxpayer would be liable to discharge the tax liability from the due date of furnishing the PMT6 till the date of making such payment. उसे 18% interest के हिसाब से tax भरना पड़ेगा, interest भरना पड़ेगा. In case 3B is not for the quarter, is not furnished, is furnished beyond the due date, then interest would be payable as per the provision of section 50 of the CGST Act only on the net ITC. यहाँ वो बहुत चीज clarify करके कह रहे हैं कि if you file your GSTR 3B late by say 20, then the due date is 22nd or 24th, and if you paid filed your 3B by 30th, then for 6 days period or 8 days period you have to discharge the interest liability on the net ITC. That means your total output tax liability, ITC available, and on the balance portion the interest would be applicable. Now let us take an example. कि मेरा quarter ended December की tax liability which has been paid in cash was 1000 rupees. Now here the example is that the taxpayer is selected to discharge the tax liability under fixed sum method. तो fixed sum method में पता है कि आपको 35% liability भरनी है from the auto generated चलन. तो मैंने 1000 का 35% 350 rupees M1 और M2 month, that means January और February में भर दिया. Now our actual tax liability works out to be 500 and 500. So there is a shortfall of 150 rupees. But since the taxpayer has discharged this tax liability before the 25th of the month, that means यहाँ January 21 का 350 rupees 25th February तक भर दिया और February 21 का 350 rupees 25th March तक भर दिया, then in that respect he need not have to pay the interest on this short payment of 150 rupees. ठीक है, ये चीज क्लियर हो गई. सेकंड चीज देखते हैं. हाँ, further the GSTR 3B is also needs to be filed by 22nd or 24th of the next month, that means April, and then in that case no tax interest liability will be attracted. Second instance, December 20 मेरी tax liability has been paid in cash was 1000. According to FSM rule, 35% of 1000 would be 350 and 350. My actual tax liability was 500 rupees. But here I have the balance in my electronic credit ledger 200 rupees and 200 rupees. So my actual tax liability 500. मैंने 350 cash में pay किया और cash ledger में मेरा 200 है. So 50 rupees is my excess amount in both the things. Then I need not, the interest will not be applicable. No interest would be payable for Jan and Feb provided taxpayer discharge the tax liability for the entire January and February on or before the 22nd or 24th of the month. Then next situation. Tax liability for the month of quarter and December is 1000. I have discharged under FSM 350 for January, February में भी 350 और मार्च में कुछ मेरे को FSM में पैसा नहीं भरना था, मुझे एक्चुअल भरना है. My actual tax liability is 500, 500 and 1000, so 2000 rupees. The balance in ECL is 600 rupees, so technically 700 rupees मुझे भरना है, because 2000 minus 700 minus 600, so total difference is 700 rupees. Now, if the taxpayer discharge the 3B, files the 3B on or before 22nd or 24th April, then no interest is payable. If he files the return late, then in that respect, the interest would be applicable on this 700 rupees. Now, after understanding the fixed sum method, now self assessment method में जाते हैं. क्या self assessment method में है? Very simple method है. उसमें इंटरेस्ट की प्रोविजन कैसे होगी? इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट विल बी पेएबल एज पर द प्रोविजन ऑफ सेक्शन 50 for the tax or any part thereof net of ITC which remains unpaid or paid beyond the due date for the first 2 months of the quarter. अभी देखते हैं क्या होता है. यहां मैं जा रहा हूं सेल्फ असेसमेंट मेथड. So tax liability paid in cash for the quarter ended December was 1000 rupees. टैक्स पेड अंडर एसएफएम एसएएम माय एक्चुअल टैक्स लायबिलिटी मेरे को भरनी थी, लेकिन मैंने 200 रुपीस ही भरा. फरवरी में 350 भरा, जबकि मेरी एक्चुअल टैक्स लायबिलिटी वाज 500 एंड 500. माय बैलेंस इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कैश लेजर वाज 200 एंड 200. तो बेसिकली मेरा शॉर्टफॉल यहाँ है 100 रुपीस इन जनवरी और फरवरी में मेरा 50 रुपीस इज एक्सेस. देन इन दैट केस द टैक्सेबल पर्सन इज रिक्वायर्ड टू डिस्चार्ज द टैक्स इंटरेस्ट for the month of January 2021, though he is discharging the return for the quarter ended March 21 in 3B within the time also. That is the view. Now in this case it may so happen that he will file his quarterly return March 21 within the time 22nd March. Then whether interest is payable, in my view, yes, still interest is payable because he is under the self-assessment method, and accordingly he has to discharge the tax liability for the month of January, though he has filed his quarterly return on or before 22nd of April 2021. Then the next question is of the late fees, whether late fees would be applicable or not. Now you know that late fees is applicable when you are filing your return, that means details of outward supply or return beyond the prescribed time. Now, as per the scheme, the requirement to furnish the return under the first proviso is on a quarterly basis. According, late fees will not be applicable for delay in furnishing the said quarterly return or details, or would be applicable for delay in furnishing of the said quarterly retail or details of outward supply. So that means कि अगर मैंने quarter ended March 21 का, the law provides that मुझे return GSTR 1 भरना है, मुझे 13 तक जो मैंने नहीं भरा, और या तो मेरा जो 3B था वो मैंने नहीं भरा by 22nd or 24th of April, then in that case I am liable to discharge the late fees as per section 47. But अगर मैंने मेरा monthly payment M1 और M2 का late किया है, then late fees will not be applicable. So no late fees applicable for delay in payment of tax in the first 2 months of the quarter. So this is all about the QRMP scheme. So now important thing is to be decided from to buy, and only one day is that whether to opt for the QRMP scheme or not. Now looking to the whole scheme as a whole, sometimes it feels that it is very much lucrative, but once we analyze the scheme, and if we are opting to pay the tax under the self-assessment scheme, then there is no difference. आप every month आपका IFF फैसिलिटी से आउटवर्ड सप्लाई का रिटर्न फाइल करना है. इफ आप फाइल नहीं करेंगे, then in that respect your vendor from whom you are supplying, वो आपको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा, तो आपको तो रिटर्न भरना ही है. GSTR 1 तो GSTR 1 में भरो या IFF में भरो, सब सही है. तो then in that case only the option is पेमेंट फैसिलिटी. पेमेंट में अगर आप सेल्फ असेसमेंट स्कीम में जाते हैं तो सही से भर ही रहे हो, then what is the why not to file GSTR 3? But it would be advisable or feasible only if you are following that as a fixed percentage method. Under that 35%, then and then only it is advisable to go under the this scheme. Otherwise सब एक ही है तो कोई नहीं. अच्छा, if you are there कि आपको लगता है कि हाँ मैं 35% में फिट हो गया हूँ, then in that respect consultant or a taxpayer needs to keep a track कि आप 35% कैसे गिनोगे, CGST है, SGST है, IGST है, सेस भी है, तो 35% का आपको ट्रैक रखना है और वो सही हिसाब से डिस्चार्ज हो रहा है कि नहीं, that also has to be kept in mind. So basically from looking into the scheme, it appears that this would be more feasible for the taxpayer who is doing a transaction of B2C transaction. That means जिसका business to consumer है, कोई क्रेडिट लेनी नहीं है, then in that respect this scheme is very much useful or fruitful. Otherwise जो B2B transaction करते हैं उनके हिसाब को तो मेरे हिसाब से it's not an advisable to go under the scheme, but otherwise you have to take the call by looking into the business criteria and the structure of the whole business, and accordingly you have to take the decision whether to opt for the scheme or not to opt for the scheme. Very interestingly, now suppose आपने decide किया कि my turnover is less than 5 crore rupees और मेरा 1.5 crore से भी नीचे turnover, and I have decided that I wanted to be remain in the present scheme. Present scheme क्या है कि if my turnover is less than 1.5 crore, then I am having an option to file a return on a quarterly basis. Now many people, now one of my associate who has seen the who is partner who is filing the return, she said that once you have selected to opt out of the scheme, then what will happen, that you are compulsorily into the monthly scheme. Then the option of filing quarterly for a taxable person whose turnover is still less than 1.5 crore, that facility is withdrawn ultimately. So there is a controversy in the Act and in the GST portal. The Act still provides that the option is there for the taxable person if their turnover is less than 1.5 crore to file the return on a quarterly basis by filing GSTR1 on quarterly basis and GSTR3B on a monthly basis. But if you go to the portal only allows two things. Number one, either QRMT scheme. If you wanted to go out of the QRMT scheme, then you are compulsory into the monthly scheme of filing GSTR1 and GSTR3B. So I think this is a lacuna in the portal and the law. So I always try to say that in our GST there exists two laws. First, GST law, which has been enacted by the law of Parliament. Second one is the portal law, GSTN law. So if you wanted to practice the law, then you have to see the GST law. फिर आपको portal मत देखो. If you wanted to file the return, तो आप एक मत देखिए, खाली GST portal देखिए, जो GST portal कहता है वो कीजिए. Otherwise, if you blend two things, law and portal, then there would be a disaster. तकलीफ हो जाएगी. So जब भी रिटर्न फाइल करना है, लॉ को मत देखो. जब भी लॉ करना है, तभी पोर्टल मत देखो. अदरवाइज वो दोनों एक साथ नहीं हो सकता है. ऐसी बात है, एक म्यान है और दो तलवार है. तो आपको डिसाइड करना है कभी कौन सी तलवार मेरी वो म्यान के अंदर रखनी है और कौन सी बाहर रखनी है. So this is all about the QRMT scheme. Now let us see some of the few amendments which are applicable from first day of January 2021. So that the course. Now let us see some of the few amendments which has been taken place from first day of January 2021. First, GST audit. Just by 31st January, we have completed the annual return and audit for the financial year 18-19. Right now, all of us have to be ready. 19-20 का return और GST audit करना है. The official due date for the financial year 2019-20 was 31st December 2020. Since on 31st December 2020, the portal itself was not ready. I think just 1 week before the 31st day of December 2020, they have activated the portal for facility or a utility to file the return for 1920 has been activated. So there was no question that it has to be filed by 31st day of December 2020. Accordingly, they have rightly extended the due date for and given, and taxpayer has been requested that now you can file your return by 20th day of February 2021. So 2 month दे दिया taxpayer को. Within 2 months you have to file your return, annual return and audit for the financial year 19 and 20. सो सबको अभी वो भी इक्विप हो जाना है। आज 30 जनवरी है, सैटरडे है, कल 31 जनवरी संडे है, तो उसके बाद हमारे पास 28 डेज रहते हैं। इन दैट 28 डेज we have to complete the GST annual return and audit. So you have to plan your affairs. Another important thing, don't wait for the extension and be in the dreams के yes extension तो मिलेगा, मत सोचना extension का, because nowadays the government is totally against the extension. Every one of us has seen that on 31st day of December 2020 under the Income Tax Act also and under the GST law also. So now don't wait for the extension. रिटर्न जितना जल्दी बने उतना फाइल कर दो, 1920 का तो फीस आने लगेगी। Now let us see which are the provisions which are applicable for 1920. One of the very important thing, what is the turnover limit, whether मेरा 2 crore है या 5 crore है. Then we have to go to the notification number 79 which says that for the applicability of the GST audit, if the aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees, then in the year 1920, then you need not have to get your accounts audited. So 5 crore के ऊपर जाएगा तो ही ऑडिट है, उसके नीचे है तो आपको ऑडिट नहीं करना है. So same situation which was there for financial year 17-18 and 18-19. Now very importantly, अगर आप कोई जूना रूल्स देखेंगे रूल 18, then in that the situation would be different. वहाँ खाली 17-18 और 18-19 लिखा है. Therefore, while practicing the GST law, आपको सही एक्ट या रूल्स देखना है, क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया कि more than 700 notifications has been issued, so you have to be keep updated. Otherwise फिर आपको किसके ऊपर डिपेंड रहना पड़ेगा, व्हाट्सएप पे डिपेंड रहना पड़ेगा एंड अदर्स को पूछना पड़ेगा कि बॉस लिमिट क्या है, 2 करोड़ है या 5 करोड़ है. ठीक है. Then option of not submitting the return, if the return for 17-18 and 18-19 option has been provided that if your turnover is less than 2 crore rupees, then in that respect it is deemed that you have filed your return, और आप return file नहीं करोगे तो चलेगा. This facility has been extended for 1920 also. So those taxpayers जिनका turnover less than 2 crore है, उनको आप annual return नहीं भरेंगे तो चलेगा. This was amended by notification number 77/2020. Then certain tables in annual return GSTR 9 were optional, that is table number 4I, J to L, table 5D are still optional. उनको अभी भी ऑप्शन में ही रखा है, तो जो हम 18-19 में कर रहे थे वो स्टिल 19-20 में ही करना है. Now in the table number 6B to 6E of the annual return जो बता रहा है हमें ITC क्रेडिट, तो आपको पता है जब भी हम जीएसटी एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं तभी जो भी हमने आईटीसी क्रेडिट ली है, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट जीएसटी 3 के मिली है, वो हमें टेबल नंबर 6 में बनाना है. देन 6B to 6E में हमें उसका बाइफरकेशन देना है, whether this credit is or are in respect of input capital goods or input services. So in 17-18 और 18-19 an option has been given कि अगर आपके पास ये ऑप्शन अवेलेबल नहीं, आपके पास डिटेल्स अवेलेबल नहीं है, don't worry, everything you put it in the input services or inputs. Now they are saying that for 1920 they says कि आपको capital goods है वो तो separately दिखाना ही है. Then in respect of input and input services, either you can have the correct bifurcation and put it in input and input services, or you can club it and put it in input row only. So 1920 में हमें ध्यान रखना है कि अगर हमने कैपिटल गुड्स पे क्रेडिट ली है तो वो हमें सेपरेटली शो करनी है. This is important. Then let's come to the table number 8A, which is in respect of कि वो हमारा GSTR 2A में कितनी क्रेडिट है वो डिस्क्लोज करती है. So the question will come up which day they will take into consideration. So they have clarified that first day of November 2020 would be taken and वो डेट को जितना भी GSTR 2 में क्रेडिट दिखनी है that would be appear in your table 8A. So this is what as regards the GST annual return and audit, whatever changes are there that I have told you. Then next is the restriction on availing the ITC rule 36(4). Dangerous rule आ गया है. हाँ, When the GST was about to be introduced at that point of time, one of the important message which was conveyed is that under the VAT laws of the state, there were lot many hurdles were there in claiming the input tax credit, and therefore there was a dire need to have the seamless flow of credit. Then and then only the GST would be fruitful. So the concept was very good that there will be a seamless flow of credit. But when the act has come into the picture, when we have read the section 16, and 17, we came to know that there are so many hurdles, so many things are not eligible for the credit, like which has been listed in section 17.5. If we go further, it further says that now we will not give you the credit unless and until the other person, that means the person from whom we have procured the goods or services, will not upload their details in their outward taxable supply in the form GSTR1, then only, and if they are not uploading, then you are not eligible to get the credit. So now they are saying that from that such credit, that whatever credit which is there in your GSTR 2A, we will allow you to have the credit of 120% only from first day of October 2019. This limit is decreasing in a phased manner. तो 20% क्रेडिट था, दैट मींस जीएसटीआर 2 में आपका 100 रुपीस दिखता है, then the law provides you that you can able to claim the credit of only 120%. 120 रुपीस आप क्रेडिट ले सकते हैं, 20% more from 1st October 19 to 31st December 2019. तो 1st January 2020 से क्या कर दिया, this limit of 20% has been curtailed to 10% पे आ गया. That means only 110% of the amount which is reflected in your GSTR 2A, that only you are eligible. That means वो आपको 10% ही ज्यादा क्रेडिट देते हैं from the amount which is available in 2A. Now, from 1st day of January 2021, what they are providing? See, they are further curtailing the amount of credit. Now they are saying that we will allow you to give you the credit only to the extent of 105%. That means अगर आपके GSTR 2 में 100 रुपीस दिख रहा है, then we are allow, and आपके books of account में 200 रुपीस दिख रहा है. That means 100 रुपीस की क्रेडिट आपकी जा रही है. तो वो लॉ बता रहा है कि आपको हम खाली 105 रुपए की क्रेडिट देंगे. 100 रुपीस जो दिखता है 2A में वो, और 5% एडिशनल क्रेडिट, तो आपको 105% क्रेडिट हम देंगे. बाकी का 95 रुपीस you will able to get the credit only when your other guy from whom you procured the goods or services will file their return outward supply in the GSTR1 form. Then and then only we will give you. So this is the provision. Another change which they have done. Now, at present, what happens that when you are uploading GSTR1, you can upload the details of your form. And the next thing, while after uploading, you have to submit the form. Now, many people, what they are doing, they are just uploading the details. They will not submit the detail. That means they are not furnishing the details. So at present, under the GSTR 2A, once you are uploading it, the details, it will reflect in your GSTR 2A, right? अब सबको पता है, but it is not, returns are not submitted. Now the law provides that you do not have to only upload, you have to submit or furnish the return of the outward taxables, outward supply. Then and then only you are eligible to take the credit of the same. अभी आप GSTR 2B में देखेंगे तो बहुत जगह आ रहा है कि return has been ITC is eligible, but not ITC is not eligible. Why? Because return has been submitted late. यहाँ तक कि आपकी डिटेल सब आ जाती है. So nowadays the government is very much strict because of this hawala combined fake invoices which are going on in the market. To in order to curb these practices, they have come out with this provision that we will give you the credit only to the extent of 105%. So one has to be now very much careful and keep the track from first day of January 2021 कि हमें खाली 105% क्रेडिट मिलेगी, not more than that which is available. Another bomb in the ITC, restriction in the payment of taxes through ITC. That means आपके इलेक्ट्रॉनिक क्रेडिट लेजर में जितना भी पैसा पड़ा है वहां भी उन्होंने बोला हम आपको 100% यूटिलाइज करने के लिए नहीं देंगे. That means कि क्या बता रहा है, just a sec. prior to January 2021, whatever amount is there in your electronic credit ledger, the whole amount you can able to utilize against your payment of taxes. But from first day of January 2021, the law has amended and it has been provided that now you can utilize 99% of your amount which is available in your electronic credit ledger. That means आपको 1% of the amount has to be paid in cash ताकि गवर्नमेंट को रेवेन्यू हो जाए. So this feature has been added from first day of January 2021. Further, it says that where the value of taxable supply in a month exceeds rupees 50 lakhs rupees, other than exempt supply and zero supply, then and then only this would be applicable. That means this is applicable only in respect of those taxpayers whose turnover is more than 5 crore rupees. उनको ही ये applicable होगा. Otherwise जो below है उनको पूरा 100% utilize कर सकते हैं. Further, restriction is not applicable in respect of following kinds of taxpayer. क्या ये restriction कभी applicable नहीं होगा? First, if that taxpayer has paid the income tax of rupees 1 lakh or more in each of the last 2 financial year, that means वो taxpayer ने last 2 years में 1 लाख रुपए से ज्यादा income tax pay किया करना चाहिए, or by the proprietor or the karta or the MD or any of its 2 partners, whole-time director, members of the managing committee of association or board of trustees. तो ये सारे लोगों, अगर प्रोप्राइटर कंसर्न है तो प्रोप्राइटर ने, पार्टनरशिप है तो या तो फर्म ने या तो 2 पार्टनर ने 1 लाख से ज्यादा इनकम टैक्स पे किया है, then this provision is not applicable. ठीक है. Second, if yes, the taxpayer has claimed the ITC on zero rated supply of rupees 1 lakh or more in the preceding financial year, अगर उन्होंने section 54 read with rule 89 उसमें उन्होंने कोई refund claim किया है ITC का और वो 1 लाख से ज्यादा है, then in that respect this provision is not applicable. Third, if he has claimed the refund of ITC on inverted duty structure of rupees 1 lakh or more in the preceding financial year, तो भी ये restriction applicable नहीं होगा. Fourth, the registered person has discharged his tax his liability towards output tax through the electronic cash ledger for an amount which is in excess of 1% of the total output tax liability applied cumulative up to the said month in the current financial year, or the registered person is a government department or a public sector undertaking or a local authority or a statutory body, then in that respect ये जो restriction है up to 1% ये apply नहीं होगा. So one has to be now very much careful while availing the credit that first of all, number one is to pay the amount only to the extent you can utilize the amount only to the extent of 99%, 1% cash में भरना है. अगर ये restriction उन्हें नहीं करना है तो ये सारी condition fulfill होनी चाहिए, then and then only this is possible. And if otherwise, if you contravene this condition, then naturally the penalty which is provided under section 125 would be applicable. Further, the discretionary power has been given to the commissioner or an officer who is authorized by क्या discretionary power क्या है, that he may remove the said restriction after such verification and such safeguard as he may deem fit. तो ये first discretionary power दिया गया है commissioner को कि if he feels that such restriction is not required, then in that case this thing would not be applicable. This restriction of 99% is not applicable. Then next provision is in respect of filing of return. अभी filing of return में भी restriction आ गया है. कैसा restriction है? Let us see. The taxpayers are restricted to file their details of outward supply in form number GSTR1 or invoice furnishing facility under the following circumstances. That means आप कभी return file नहीं करने देंगे आपको. Let's see. If taxpayer has not filed the GSTR3B for the preceding 2 months, अगर GSTR3B 2 महीने से नहीं भरा है तो आपको जो 3rd month में आपको जो GSTR1 फाइल करना है वो सिस्टम विल ब्लॉक इट. और या तो इनवॉइस फर्निशिंग फैसिलिटी जो है दी गई है that also he cannot avail. So once you are not availed in the 3rd month, the outward taxable supply, तो naturally the person who has procured the goods from you, वो पहले आ जाएगा कि बॉस आपने भरा नहीं है तो मैं अभी आपके पास से गुड्स नहीं लूंगा. सो ब्यूटीफुली अरेंज सिस्टम उन्होंने कर दिया है कि अगर मेरे से नहीं मानते हो तो मैं आपके कस्टमर को बोलूंगा कि वो आपको बताए, तो आपको रिटर्न फाइल करना है. तो अगर 2 महीने कंटिन्यूअसली मैंने 3B नहीं भरा, then in that case I cannot file my GSTR1 for the 3rd month. Next, taxpayers required to furnish GSTR 3B for every quarter. ये आपका QRMD स्कीम में आ गया. If he has not filed 3B for the preceding tax period, then नेक्स्ट मंथ का QRMP नहीं फाइल कर पाएंगे. ऐसे भी QRMP में है कि प्रीवियस मंथ का रिटर्न भरना चाहिए, अगर नहीं भरा है QRMP स्कीम में बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा. The taxpayer who is restricted from using the amount available in electronic credit ledger to discharge his tax liability toward tax in excess of 99% of such liability under Rule 60 has not filed 3B for the preceding tax period. अगर जो बंदा ने ये 99% की रिस्ट्रिक्शन में अवेलेबल है और उन्होंने 3B नहीं फाइल किया है for the preceding tax period, then also he is not eligible to file their GSTR1 और इनवॉइस फेसिंग. तो अगर GSTR1 ही रुक गया है तो दैट मींस समझ लीजिए कि आपका सारा कामकाज रुक गया है. सो इट्स एन इनडायरेक्ट वे ऑफ कंट्रोलिंग द बिजनेस दैट यस एंड टू मेक देम अंडर द proper way so that all the other systems would work in a proper manner. So this is as regards the restriction on filing of return. Last amendment which I would love to take is in respect of e-way bill provision. At present e-way bill was permitted, उसमें उन्होंने कंडीशन दी थी कि कितने टाइम पीरियड में वो जो e-way bill आपका वैलिडेट रहेगा. तो इट सेज दैट अप टू 100 किलोमीटर्स है तो वो 1 डे में कंप्लीट हो जाना चाहिए. आपका जो व्हीकल है from one place to another place, it should reach within a 1 day if the kilometer is 100 kilometer. Now from 1st day of January 2021, this kilometers range has been enhanced from 100 kilometer to 200 kilometer कि वो एक दिन में complete होना ही चाहिए. Since now the roads are very good, government is spending on creating roads, so they are thinking that yes, roads are very good, so instead of 100 kilometers in a day, they would be easily able to complete the 200 kilometers. So चलो ये limit कर देते हैं. So now from 1st January 2021, अगर आपका destination is within 200 kilometers, तो आपका वो एक दिन में जर्नी कंप्लीट होनी चाहिए. Then and then only ये आपका e-way bill valid होगा, otherwise it will expire. Then blocking of e-way bill. Now it is very important to note that no person shall be allowed to furnish e-way bill in case such person has not furnished the return for a consecutive period of 2 months. अब ये दूसरा रिस्ट्रिक्शन हमने देखा, 2 consecutive month में GSTR 3B नहीं फाइल किया तो रिटर्न GSTR 1 फाइल नहीं कर देंगे. यहाँ उन्होंने किया, अगर 2 महीने तक आपने रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया 3B तो आपका ई-वे बिल भी रोक देंगे. हाँ देखा कैसा उन्होंने रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा दिया है. Then such provision has been amended to restrict the generation of e-way bill in case returns have not been furnished for 2 tax period कर दिया instead of tax 2 months. This is effective from 22nd December 2020. That means now everyone has to be very much careful while taking the assignment, क्योंकि अभी लगता है जीएसटी रिटर्न की प्रैक्टिस है, कॉम्प्लायंस प्रैक्टिस है, वो डे बाय डे becomes difficult as well as it becomes complicated and we cannot able to file the returns for a more number of clients. Why? The reason is very simple. ये जो सारा ट्रैकिंग करना है, it becomes very difficult. So to track that, first of all the information should come within the time. ये जो 13 तारीख और 11 तारीख जो है तो अपने पास इंफॉर्मेशन आती है लास्ट डेज में 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And if you have to file the 100 return, it would be impossible or infeasible to file the return within that 5 or 6 days period of time, and that too after taking into consideration so many amendments and changes which is taking place. So this is what this all are the some of the few amendments which has been there in the act. Then last one, cancellation of registration. This is also very important. Nowadays, you know that section 21, rule 21 is there, which talks about the cancellation of registration, which says that under 4 situations, a proper officer can cancel your registration. Which are those four situations? Number one, if a taxpayer doesn't conduct any business from the declared place of business, that means if the person is carrying on the business, if it has been found out that he is carrying out a business from a place which is not registered in his registration certificate, then immediately he will cancel his registration. Number two, if he issues the invoice or a bill without supply of any goods or services, which is in violation of the provision of this act, he will cancel his number. So without supply of goods or services, you are violating and your registration may be cancelled. Number three, if he violates the provision of section 171, that is anti-profiteering, or violates the provision of rule 10A, that means he has not furnished the details of bank account, then in this four situation, if the taxpayer commits default, then his registration is cancelled. Of course, the opportunity of being heard would be given to the taxpayer, and after that, his number would be cancelled. Now, three more reasons has been added into this list of cancellation of registration with effect from 22nd December 2020. Let us see what are these additional three conditions. Number one, if the taxpayer has availed the input tax credit in violation of section 16 of the CGST Act or rules thereunder, पूरा 16 के अंदर आपने अगर वायोलेट किया है, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ले ली है, तो आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हो जाएगा. If he furnish the details in form GSTR1, very interesting provision, huh? If he furnish the details in form GSTR1 for one or more tax period, which is in excess of the output supplies declared by him in his valid return in GSTR3 before the said tax period. So बहुत सारे taxpayers क्या करते हैं, जब भी GSTR1 भरते हैं तो सही डिटेल दे देते हैं, 100 रुपीस का टर्नओवर दिखा देते हैं, लेकिन वो 100 रुपीस पे टैक्स आता है से 100 crores आता है, उसके ऊपर टैक्स आता है 50 lakh crore rupees. 50 lakhs rupees. Then they don't have that much of money, so GST 3B में उनका turnover कम बता देते हैं. Now if it has been caught by the officer कि आपने 1 में तो ज्यादा turnover दिखाया और 3B में कम दिखाया, then in that respect you are also liable that your registration will be cancelled. Number three, if he violates the provision of rule 86B, 86B क्या बताता है आपको, restriction on use of the ITC, that means you can avail only up to 99% of your credit, then in that respect you may face a problem that आपका registration cancel हो जाए. So one has to be very much careful of regarding this provision also. So with this, I think I have completed my presentation of this QRMP scheme and also some of the few amendment which has been taken place from 1st day of January 2021, which has been introduced. So I thought it is very important to share with all of you. Lastly, I thank all of you for providing me an opportunity, especially a Mulund Study Circle, which is home. I would say it's my hometown after Ghatkopar. For that they have provided me an opportunity to share my view with all of you. Thank you very much to all of you. And now the forum is open for the questions, if any is there.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really a pleasure for you to listen, that we have got an opportunity to understand such a difficult subject in a simple and lucid language. Just to give a formal vote of thanks, I will invite my core committee member Balaji to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sneha. Good evening, friends. Albert Einstein has once quoted that the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. It is very much important for us as professionals to be constantly updated. Friends, you will agree that CA Ashit Shah covered his presentation in simple and lucid language. We are thankful to him to accept our invitation and sharing rich knowledge on the subject. I, on behalf of CP Study Circle.
Thank you, Balaji. Queries, sir, queries will be reflected on the screen by Rishi. So you can take it up.
Yeah. Now I will take the query only of the law. If any query is relating to portal, then I am not the right person to reply on the portal. Please.
No problem, sir.
Yeah. First query is for a person registered in the month of January can apply for QRMT scheme. No, I think he cannot able to apply if he is registered in January. I have already taken in my this example in my talk that if he is registered in the month of January, then one of the very important thing to qualify under the scheme is that he has to file first the normal 3B return. So which naturally he has to file it in the month of January ka return February mein jayega. So he will file it in the month of February. And till the February, the time limit to avail the benefit for the fourth quarter is expired on 31st day of January. So naturally, he cannot able to avail the scheme till 31st March 2021. However, he can definitely able to take the benefit of the scheme from the first quarter of the 2021. Second is if a person cannot see the screen. Huh? If a person opt for the self-assessment method, whether ITC has to be restricted to ITC available in Form 2B or as per books. No, forget as per books. ITC will be eligible only as per Form 2B. जो output tax, output supply आपके supplier ने upload किया है, उनके basis पे ही आपको लेनी है, not otherwise. Books of account भूल जाओ. If say in case of FSM, IGST paid is ₹1 lakh rupees. But liability was of SG, CG plus SG of 50 plus 50, then what? Then in that, suppose if you discharge the tax liability, that means amount is there in your cash ledger. Now the facility has been provided by way of filing form number PMT09, through which you can interchange the head of tax payment before. So before the filing of 3B, you can very well interchange it and discharge the tax liability. So that kind of adjustment is possible. Next is for March 19. Supply vendor has filed GSTR 1 in November 20. Whether ITC will be available. First of all, this question is of not related to this topic, but still I will reply you. And my earnest request would be that please raise the query which is relating to the topic which is of today, so that I can able to concentrate first on all the queries which are of the today's relevance of the today's topic. And then if the time permits, I will able to give the reply for the queries which are not related to the topic. Now this March 19, the time period expires on September 2020. So naturally, if the return has been filed after September 20, then credit ITC will not be available. How to upload details that GST dealer or partner or direct has paid tax of more than. Can you just take it up, your fifth query?
Sir, this much is only the query.
Acha. How to upload details that GST dealer or partner or director has paid tax of more than 1 lakh. You need not have to declare upload the details. Here you have to just see that are you there in the that restriction of 18 rule 89. If it is not applicable, then you need to take the whole credit of 100%. Then you need not have to worry. This detail you have to keep it with yourself. You need not have to disclose it to the department.
Sir, few more queries have came.
Okay.
I just read it out.
Yeah.
2A reflects the credit, but in 2B it is not. Why does this happen?
Portal issues, please don't ask me portal issues.
Okay, sir. Sir, then just one. If we have paid nil cash tax, then can we opt for Jan and Feb 21 as fixed sum pay amount method as nil amount?
Yeah, definitely. Then the challan will not generate the amount, because challan will generate the amount based on the data which is available with them. So suppose in the month of November and December, if you paid zero tax as in cash, then the challan generated would be zero. Then you need not have to pay the tax.
Okay. Then next query is, if person paying 1% of liability in cash and 99% from credit ledger, will the balance remained in the credit ledger for the said period be carried forward to next month, or will it be lapsed?
No, it would be carried forward unanimously, unlimited, perpetually.
Okay, sir.
It will not be lapsed.
So last query. If two payments are made in February, first payment for the month of January and second payment for annual return of 1920, then whether second payment can be utilized for DRC 03 as cash ledger utilized will be restricted for any other payment till 3B is filed.
So as I have told you that the payment which has been made in the M1 and M2 month in cash ledger, that has to be utilized only for the purpose of discharging the tax liability of that quarter. After filing the 3B of that quarter, if any surplus money is left, then that surplus money can be utilized for any other purpose. That means any other purpose means including the DRC 03 also.
Sir, one more query came. RCM paid would be considered in 1% payment?
No. 1% cash, what they are saying that while utilizing the balance in electronic credit ledger, you have, so 100 rupees is there in your electronic credit ledger, so you can utilize 99 rupees as a credit and 1 rupee you have to pay in cash.
Okay,
So
sir.
RCM that thing will not come.
Sir, one more query came just now.
Not an issue. Go on.
If we pay self-assessment method, then whether we have to inform to department for the same?
No, there is no need for informing the department. It appears that since it has not yet started, so even I am not aware, but there is no need for information that yes, I am discharging an assay. So while making the payment of tax, if you are not opting under that pre-filled challan, then naturally you will not accept that pre-filled challan. You will pay the tax in PMT 06, which has been generated by you. So that is a self-assessment tax method.
Right, sir.
So any
Sir, there are
amount,
no more.
yeah,
Sorry, sir.
any amount you are paying other than pre-filled amount, that would be considered as a self-assessment method.
Right, sir. Sir, no more queries right now.
Lovely.
Thank you so much once again on behalf of Mulund CS Study Circle.
Yeah.
Thank you for accepting our invitation, sir.
Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Balaji, please do the needful.